Have you ever walked into a meeting room and no, I don't mean Sharon's on mute again like she always is.
I can't hear you!
What I mean is like literally the mics don't work. You walk in there, the mics just do not pick you up. You'll be shocked, it happens all of the time. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why that is. And let me be honest with you, the fix is much simpler than it looks. I'm also going to show you a little secret tool that I use. Now don't tell anyone about this, but I'm going to show you a little secret tool that I use to make sure the design of your meeting rooms is absolutely perfect right from the get-go. So the reason we started using this design tool, right, we had a client call us last minute, panicking.
Now I'm panicking.
Boardrooms going live within a week. Big, massive opening, ribbon cutting ceremony, paint smelling all great on the walls. Client panicked 4 or 5 days out saying, Chris, you need to come and fix this. Nobody can hear anything within the boardroom. We've got the CEO here next week. We've got all of the shareholders coming along next week. We've got a massive boardroom opening. And honestly, it's going to be a disaster. And my head is on the chopping block. We went in there 4 days out, 4 or 5 days out, went in there, microphones weren't working. But they were just a bit rubbish. And the problem they had is this massive boardroom was set at the front of the boardroom. All we had was a small little video conferencing camera with a microphone set within it. The boardroom had 24 people sat in it. So any kind of, no, we can't fight with physics, unfortunately. As much as what we're good at what we do, we just can't fight with physics. So when a microphone at the front of a room is trying to pick up somebody talking 24 seats away, the truth of the matter is the microphone just couldn't hear it.
I can't hear you.
So poor old Sharon wasn't on mute. She just couldn't project their voice to the microphone 24 seats further down to the front of the room. That's the reality. Somebody had gone in, and I'm not going to mention names, somebody had gone in, designed this meeting room and stuck a front of house camera and microphone at the front of the meeting room with, by the way, the biggest TV screen you've ever seen. The whole thing was just an absolute mess. So we got dragged in 4 days before the actual boardroom meeting went live, and the client basically said, Chris, can you fix it? Needless to say, we went in there and fixed it, but the client unfortunately ended up having to pay a bill to us in order to get better microphones and a design that's actually fit for purpose. What I then did with the client was turn around and say, look, why don't you use this little cheeky tool that we use? Now, obviously, the tool I'm going to share with you is a particular brand. We use it for guidance, basically. So you can jump into the tool. If you've got any meeting rooms, any designs that you need to put together, you can jump into this tool. Forget the brand almost, but you can almost use it as a brand agnostic tool. But the important thing about this particular tool is that it gives you the ability to see how many mics you need, what the camera angles are, what the screen size is, etc, etc. It's really simple, and I'm going to show you it here. Let me show you a really quick example. When I jump onto the page here, right, all I simply need to do, if I'm going to use a large meeting room, let's use the executive boardroom as an example, which is what I'm talking about to you here, right? If I use the executive boardroom, all I simply do is click on the button here, and then I can really easily start to design the technology that goes within my boardroom. So I can very easily say, right, what's the width of the boardroom? I can move it up and down using this toggle here. What's the length of it? I can toggle it up and down using this button here. Really simply, what's the height of it, right? What I then do is I can see the in-room view. So I can see all of the users. I can scroll around here. I can see all of the users and who's going to be sat where and what the actual space looks like, right? More importantly, I can look at what the far end's looking at. So if I'm on a meeting, I can see what the far end's seeing using this particular thing here. I can change the measurements using this toggle here, and I can see the camera angle. So I mentioned a minute ago, you want to make sure you've got the technology that fits the actual space itself. If the boardroom's too big, you need to make sure the camera can reach all the way to the end. If the boardroom's too small, you need to make sure the angle of the camera fits all of the participants in. Using this tool, I can very easily see, based on the dimensions that I put in, that this particular camera angle fits all of my participants in. Moreover, the story that I mentioned a few minutes ago with regards to the microphones, in this scenario here, I've got 2 microphones set up, right? You can see them in the ceiling. What it also gives me is the ability to see where my microphones are going to be picked up. So you can see on this here, I can very easily see where my microphones are going to be picked up. And then finally, I can see where my display, as you can see with the green arches here, I can see where my display is being seen by the participants. If I click the next button, I can choose what type of table setup I want. So if I want a taper table, if I click taper table in this particular instance, you can see that I've now got outer space. So it's telling me that the design that I'm asking for does not work in the dimensions of the room that I set prior. Okay, so all I'd need to do here is go back to the dimensions, change it. Now the tapered room works because I changed the dimensions of the room. So very, very easily I can, and again, it's high level, right? The idea behind this is it's a bit of a cheat sheet for you. It's high level. I can very, very quickly put my dimensions of my room in, stick in what I want to stick in, if do I want a dual screen, what microphones do I want in there, etc., etc. You can very quickly and easily understand the physics of a particular room. Once I've got the physics together, I then figure out whether the actual dimensions of the room fit with the technology that I'm deploying, and that's it. Simply work through. This is a room booking panel. You can see I've got a room booking panel here. As I move forwards, we have different types of video conferencing capabilities on here. Again, if you want to use this particular brand, then feel free, but if not, don't worry. There's all sorts of different brands out there. This just gives you an idea of the physics of the actual room. And if I want a dual screen or a single screen, if I want a single screen, it may kick out on this particular room that it's not big enough. No, it hasn't. But again, if the room was too big for the screen that's been deployed on here, it will come up with a warning in this top corner here. This is the bit that's really important, is this microphone type, right? If I in this particular instance, I've put ceiling mics, right? If I put table mics, you can see a warning's popped up. So basically saying to me, you need to check your microphone coverage. The reason it's saying that is because, how many mics have I got on there? 4 mics. So N Sharon down here is not going to be picked up properly. So I probably need to add some more mics in to ensure that the microphone coverage here, which is giving me a warning saying it's marginal, my microphone coverage gets covered as good, right? So the idea is you put high level design together using this really easy tool, you get good across everything, and then guess what you do? You go and speak to an integrator or a professional like us. You give them the high level design, we will ratify it all for you, make sure the engineers ratify everything, make sure everything works properly, and then start working on a price to actually supply and install all the equipment. This is a really simple, quick tool that you can use to avoid the problem that people have when they get to site and people can't hear them. Jump onto that tool, really, really simple. I'll stick a link to that in the bottom. By the way, all of this is available in what we call the AV bundle. We've got an AV bundle which sits in our description. The AV bundle gives you this tool, and it gives you a bunch of other things, including high-level design guides, including risk maps for project delivery. All of it is within the AV bundle, so check that out. It's in the link below. Now, putting high-level designs together is great, but it's only one element. The other elements are really important to make sure that you've got ongoing service and maintenance with regards to your meeting rooms. So in this video here, we talk you through our DITAM model. DITAM model covers everything from design, integration, all the way through to how you actually maintain this equipment on an ongoing basis. So if you need a really easy model to follow when it comes to design and integration of these spaces, then check out that video there.